that I was able to effectively share it with you. Um, I did just lead a class from 8 to 8:45, but since I am learning, um, I don't think that it came through. So we're gonna try this again, and I am going to work this out and learn how to do this stuff. You know, yoga and technology, it's not always one and the same. So I apologize if you weren't able to tune in to the class at 8 um, due to my learning process and technical difficulties, I guess you could call it. But I am warm and I just had a great class. And we're going to do it all over again because I want to share it with you. So, good morning. Find your comfortable seat and cross at the ankles. Come into your easy pose. What was the first thought that came into your mind this morning? And what thoughts are with you now? As you draw in through the nose, take a deep inhale. Let the hands rest on the knees. Closing the eyes and softening your face. Notice resistance in the hips. Allow that to release and allow your knees to release down toward the mat a little bit further. Then bring your awareness to the length and height of your spine, of the crown of your head. Rooting down through your sit bones, bring your awareness, visualize this line, your vertebrae stacked, and grow taller all the way through from the root to the crown of the head. Notice if your heart is leaning forward slightly or rounding back. And come to that center where you can float. Deep inhale through the nose. And exhale out of the mouth. And for the next two, it'll be a sigh on the exhale. Draw in through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out. Allow some sound to come through on your sigh. With the next inhale, we'll take the arms wide and all the way to the sky. And exhale. Fingertips float down on either side of you. We'll go right into these waves, these side to side leaning. Now, as you come into the side to side movement, keeping awareness that the hips are staying grounded, the sit bones are staying grounded, and the hips are not moving. The motion, the movement, and the point of rotation is right around the belly button or just above that space between the belly button and the bottom of the rib cage. This is the point that is moving, and the part of the area below that is generally staying in the same place. Side to side waves all the way through the neck, allowing fluidity along the spine. Using your fingertips to help you bounce from side to side. We're going to start to walk the hands forward in front of the knees and continue leaning from side to side. You can walk your hands forward just as far as you can, whatever feels good for you. Then we'll come to a neutral spine. Well, not neutral, you're reaching forward, but no more waves from side to side. And then with the inhale, draw the heart forward. And exhale, lower to the forearms or maybe all the way down. And breathing here, take a deep inhale into the belly. And open mouth, exhale. And from here, we'll start to bring the waves back in from side to side and walk your hands back. All the way until the shoulders are over the hips. And we'll bring the hands back to the knees. With your inhale, draw the shoulders in towards the sockets and then pull the heart forward. Use your hands on the knees to help draw the heart through. Lift the chin, turn the hips out and back behind you. Exhale, chin into the chest, draw the hips under, round through the spine, length through the back side of the body. Inhale to roll forward and exhale to round. So as you inhale, you're finding length through the front side from the pelvis all the way through the belly, through the chest, and through the neck, all the way to the chin. Exhale, round, finding that length now from the sacrum, from the coccyx, all the way up through the back of the neck to the base of the skull. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, round back. Inhale, roll forward. And exhale back. You can close your eyes, find your own pace with your breath. Just find this gentle rocking from side to side. It can be big or small. Sometimes less is more. Sometimes subtle helps us go deeper. Now let's bring some circular rotations. We'll start with little ones. So as you lean forward through the heart, you'll round toward the right shoulder toward the right knee, left shoulder toward the left knee, and then exhale. Complete that circle around the back as you round back. Inhale forward and exhale back. So imagining that your heart was drawing a circle around or over the hips. Continuing with the circles, we'll take the other direction. Take a little pause. And your movement is with your breath. Inhale, the heart comes forward and across. Exhale, back and around. Again, you can close the eyes. Let your body guide you. And don't be worried about the shapes your body's making. Just listening and moving as you're guided to. Starting to allow your mind to take a rest. And let your body do the guidance. We'll come back to a neutral spine. Inhale, take the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Closing the eyes, softening the shoulders down away from the ears. Feeling your heart lifting, your heart center. Your thumbs pressing into the heart center pressing into the thumbs. Palms pressing into each other. Feel the warmth between your hands. And take a moment to set your intention for your practice, for your day, for your month. Deep belly breath, expand through the belly, through the side rib, expand through the lungs, and open mouth, exhale, release. One more inhale. Follow your breath from the base of the spine through the crown of your head as you rise on the inhale, illuminating from the base to the crown and lengthening. Open mouth, exhale. Here we'll walk the hands forward. So you come onto hands and knees. We'll come into a tabletop position, shoulders over wrists, and hips over the knees. And we'll move into cat-cow here. As you inhale, let the heart shine forward, shoulders back, hips turn out and open, chin lifts to the sky. So we're coming into the same forward and back motion that we were doing while we were seated, but now we have gravity moving in a different direction. And we're pressing into the hands, which helps us to round more. As we exhale, heels of the hands toward the knees for cat. Inhale. Lift the chin, turn the hips out and open. So again, we're tuning into the length from the back into the back side as you come into cat, chin into the chest. And inhale, length through the front side as you come into cow. Exhale, round, lift through the center of your back, chin into the chest, hips drawing under, belly button in towards the spine. Inhale, lengthen across the belly. Now notice as you come into cow, are you releasing the belly completely? What happens if you bring a little engagement into the core and then turn the hips out? Heart forward, chin lifts. Feel the muscles stretching across the belly, through the core muscles getting a little stretch. And maybe even giving some stretch and massage into the low organs. And for the ladies, from here, we'll begin to bring the hips back towards the heels on the exhale. Inhale, bring the heart through and forward. Exhale, hips back. Inhale, forward. Take the hips back to the left heel, and then to the right heel, and then to the left heel, getting a little wag from side to side. Find length from the hips to the fingertips. Inhale, we'll come back to the top. We're going to take big circles over the knees this time. So hips come back toward the left knee, then the right, or left heel, then the right heel, and round as you come forward. Exhale as you go back. Inhale as you round forward. Exhale as you go back. Big circles with the hips. Take a pause. Go in the other direction. Notice your breath. Synchronize with your breath. You can move as fast or as slow as you need. Sometimes we want to slow down to feel even more, to be more present with the body. And sometimes we want to move faster because we're finding the groove and we know where we're going. And we want to move a little faster. So just listening to your body will come to center, neutral spine. So tune into the hands. Make sure that all 10 fingers are spread wide. Give a nice open palm, high five, high 10 to the mat. Making sure that the heel of the hand all the way through all 10 fingertips is grounded down into the mat. And we'll take the toes and tuck them under, press into the toes, lift the knees, and take your hips up and back. Coming into downward facing dog, you can bend into the knees as much as you need to here, and then pedal, lift through the heels. Lift one heel at a time. Let your hips wiggle from side to side. Wag your tail. Allow the crown of the head to release. Turn your head yes and no. Releasing through the neck. Then we're going to externally rotate the shoulders. Find more length from the shoulders to the ears. And feel your elbows pointing back a little more. Stronger foundation through the arms and shoulders. One more deep inhale. Bend deeply into the knees, and with your exhale, draw the heels down toward the mat. Try to straighten through the legs as much as you can. Find a straight line from the hips to the shoulders to the wrists. With your next inhale, we'll take the right heel to the sky as far as you can take it. Keeping your toes pointing down square to the mat. Making sure that your toes aren't pointing out to the right side. Point them straight down. Notice how that brings your right hip down slightly. Hips are still square now. As you exhale, we'll bring the foot back down or place it on the mat. Lift the left toes and then take the left heel to the sky as high as you can go. Feel that stretch coming into the back side of the right leg. And we'll lower the left foot down. From here, deep inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Walk the hands back to the feet. Coming into your forward fold. Bend deeply bend into the left knee. Rest your left fingertips in front of the toes. Right hand comes to the low back. Then we'll lift the heart to come to a straight spine. So lifting about halfway. And then start to lift the right shoulder to the sky, twisting open. Eventually, you might take the right fingertips to the sky. So your chest and your heart is opening to the right side. Then take your nose to the sky, your eye gaze to the sky, twisting here. Bring your awareness to the spine and bring alignment from the base of the spine to the crown. Deep inhale, open the heart. And exhale, release. Replace the left fingertips with the right. Bring the left hand to the low back, bend into the right knee. And as you're ready, straighten through the spine, lift halfway, deep inhale. And exhale, twisting. Lifting the left shoulder over right. And as you find your placement, you can lift the left fingertips to the sky or keep them on the low back. It's up to you. Take the eye gaze to the sky. One more deep inhale. And exhale, we'll release down to center. As we rise to stand, we're going to round up. So draw your hips under. Let the fingertips just hang down. Shoulders relax. And hunch and round forward, just like a rag doll. Rising and beginning to stack the spine from the base of the spine. Slowly moving that stretch up as you stack one vertebra at a time, eventually lifting the heart. You can lift the shoulders toward the ears and roll them down and back. To grow taller through the neck, reach the crown of the head to the sky. And then we'll turn the palms open, the thumbs out, the pinkies in. And feeling yourself coming into a state of receptivity, presence as you stand over your 2 feet. Weight equally distributed. Let's root our feet down into the mat now by pressing all 10 toes into the mat. Engage through the feet as if you could actually engage roots growing down into the mat. Feel your arches lift. Then we'll grow taller by pressing into the feet and actually lifting yourself higher from the mat. Feeling your kneecaps lift as your legs engage. Feeling your hips drawing under and your belly button drawing in. Your heart pointing high. Following your next breath. With your inhale, we'll take the arms out wide, all the way to the sky. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, we'll bring hands to heart center. Lift your right foot. We'll step it forward. Come into warrior one. So in warrior one, we have our left foot about a 45-degree angle. Right toes point straight forward. Right knee points straight forward. We'll bring our hands to the hips. Notice if your left hip is drawing back as it wants to move back with that left heel, and draw it forward. Right hip moves back. Hips are square to the front. Shoulders are square to the front of your mat. And then bring the hands as they're still resting on the hips. Notice if the hips are turning out behind you and draw them under. Find more length through the low back. Inhale, arms to the sky. And exhale. We'll bring the hands together behind the back. Cross all 10 fingers. And then take that fist, press it into the low back. Draw the elbows back. Let the chest open. Shoulders and elbows draw back. Inhale, lift the chin. And exhale, release. Here we'll bring both hands down to the top of the mat. Step your right toes back. Come into a plank. Take a deep inhale. Straight line from the heels to the hips to the shoulders. Exhale, hips up and back. Downward facing dog. We'll walk the hands to the back of the mat. Inhale to lift halfway to a straight spine. Exhale, fold. And this time, as we rise all the way to the top, we'll slight bend into the knees, engage in the core to lift with the straight spine, all the way back to the top. Arms reach to the sky, palms touch overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Here we'll lift the left foot, step it forward, come into warrior one on the other side. Left toes point straight forward, knee over ankle, right heel down. So through the foundation, we want equal weight distributed through both feet and all four corners of both feet. So notice if there's an edge of your foot that's wanting to lift from the mat, and make sure that your heels, your toes are rooted. Again, hips square to the front of the mat, shoulders square. And then notice if you can draw the hips under and bring more length to the low back. If your knee goes past the ankle on the left side, go ahead and step the foot forward a little bit more. We want to avoid taking the knee past the ankle. And with your inhale, we'll take the arms to the sky. And exhale, bring them down and around behind you. Cross all 10 fingers. Press into the low back with that fist and draw the elbows back. Feel your heart open. As you inhale, lift the chin. And exhale, we'll release. Bringing your hands down, step your left toes back, coming into your plank. And as we exhale, we'll lower the knees, take the hips back over the heels, come into child's pose for a cycle of breath. Resting your forehead on the mat. Deep belly breath, expand through the low back. With your inhale, we'll come back over hands and knees. Lift to downward facing dog. Hips up and back. Feet are hip distance apart. Hands or shoulders distance apart. From here, we'll lift the left toes, step the left foot forward. And we'll walk the hands over to the right edge of your mat. Coming into a forward fold with the legs wide. Go ahead and turn your big toes inward slightly and release the weight as you fold forward. So no weight into the hands, no resistance, just folding. Deep belly breath and release. Here we'll take a little bend into the knee, lift halfway to find your straight spine, and then rise all the way to the top. Take the arms, fingertips to the sky, grow long. And exhale, we'll bring hands to heart center. We're going to come into a little more movement, faster movement here, taking it one step at a time. We'll start with the feet hip distance apart. So we're going to come back to the leaning from side to side, but this time standing, giving us a little bit more depth. So start by tracing the outsides of your legs with your fingertips. Reaching your right fingertips down toward the outside of the right knee, left fingertips down toward the outside of the left knee, and making sure that your hips and shoulders are staying in one plane. So we're not letting the hips and shoulders rotate front and back, side, side to side. So allow the neck to soften into the side to side movement. And now we'll start to bring the arm along with you. So as you lean to one side, lift the other arm up and over. Continue tracing the outside of the legs and use that as a support for the side that you're leaning on and leaning into. So we'll take a little pause, come back to center. We're going to step the feet wider now. Take your feet as wide as you can and turn the toes outward. You'll have your knees and toes pointing away. And then we'll start to set the hips down. So if your knees go past the ankles, take your stance a little wider. Now as you sit down, your chest is maybe slightly starting to fold forward. We want to bring the shoulders over the hips. So when you bring the shoulders over the hips, you'll feel more resistance. You say, I can't point my knees out that way. But just keep trying, keep holding that intention. It's okay if your knees start to pull in. You can bring your hands inside of the knees to help open them. Shoulders over hips. We'll straighten. So we're going to find this squat pose between as we lean from side to side. We're shifting our weight now as well, so not equal weight in both feet. We'll shift weight into the right foot, reach through the left arm up and over. Your left leg, all the way through the left toes, is extending and lengthening down to the mat. Inhale through center. And exhale, lengthening through the right side. Right toes pointed all the way through the right fingertips. Feel that length. And using your left hand to press into the thigh on the left side and keep that length. We'll come through center. We're going to start to exhale through center. Inhale, reach. Exhale, center. Inhale, reach. Now, as we find the movement, we can start to bring fluidity, bring our own style, bring your own personal version to the experience, what feels good for you. You can bring the arms out to the side. You can bring it up in front of you. So just finding your flow. Inhale to reach, exhale center. Inhale, reach, exhale center. We'll take a pause, come back to center. Goddess pose, sit the hips lower now. You can rest your hands on your knees to help support you. I'm going to try to bring the hips to the same level as the knees. Now we're going to fold, but before we do that, lift the toes, straighten the legs, turn them in. Big toes point in, arms to the sky. Exhale, fold into your forward fold. Wide-legged forward fold. We'll walk the hands to the top of the mat now. Take the left foot back. Lower the knees. Bring the heels together. Take some space between the knees. Press into the fingertips. Lift the palms, the heels of the hands and the elbows. The whole arm is lifted as you walk your fingertips forward. Length through the spine. And then exhale. Lower the forehead down to the mat. Relax the arms. Relax into your child's pose. Let your head rock from side to side. Get a little massage into the forehead and the brow. For the next 3 breaths, follow the expansion into your belly, into the low back. Expansion through the vertebrae in the low back. Expansion and massaging into your psoas, into your low organs. Consciously sending healing and release into your body, just melting here. I invite you to stay in your child's pose for as long as you feel it, until you feel complete. And before you move on with your day, welcoming the second month of the year and asking yourself today what you're calling in, what you're welcoming into your life, and what you're letting go of, what you're ready to let go of, what's no longer serving you. What type of new experiences, new people, new habits, and what patterns, what habits, people, experiences that are no longer serving. Just getting clear on where you're coming from, where you're going, how you're going to get there. And believing in all that you have and all that you are, and not to be discouraged by any challenges, misunderstandings, miscommunications. Forgiving yourself and finding compassion for yourself always. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you Friday as well as Sunday. And I'm also posting a video every day in the month of February. And again, today's video I had a little trouble with, but I'm sure I'm working this out, and I look forward to having trouble-free technology and yoga. Have a lovely day. Namaste.